Hearing this, Sherwin Blair's face turned pale. He threw down his knife and sprinted out of the woods. Blair ran for his life, without showing any concern for his fiancée. Officer Emmett felt very helpless. Suddenly, Kevin stopped. He put Phoebe down and turned around to look at the fierce cougar that was running towards them. "Keep heading for the camp. It's that way." "Kevin, no! Go as fast as you can. I'll keep him here," Kevin yelled as he ran at the cougar without looking back. He picked up the knife that Blair had tossed on the ground and threw it at the cougar. Without thinking about his own safety, Kevin ran towards the dense forest, away from the camp. The angry cougar quickly followed behind. When Phoebe finally limped into the camp, Blake saw her and ran over to help her. "Phoebe, where's Kevin?" Kevin, in order to save me, he lured the cougar away in the other direction." They all heard a wailing sound that echoed from one end of the woods to the other. "That sounds like the cougar got him," they all thought. Some of the Joneses were happy to finally be rid of him. At least Phoebe had made it back. They had no sympathy for Kevin at all. No, Kevin can't die," Lily sobbed as she kept shaking her head no, unable to hold back her tears. Kevin risked himself to lure it in another direction so everybody could get back safely to the campsite. "Which one of you is willing to follow me back into the woods to find Kevin?" I'll go with you into the woods. Even if it's too late for Kevin, we can't leave him behind." "Kelly, are you kidding? I'm a police officer. Kevin just did what I should have done. I'll go too." "Okay, I'll go with you too." That very moment, Kevin was standing over a dead timber rattlesnake. Half of his body was covered in blood. He cracked its spine just below the head like it was a chicken. About 10 minutes later, Lily, Officer Emmett, and Phoebe finally convinced more than a dozen people to go into the woods to look for Kevin. Their jaws dropped when they saw him walking towards them holding a 6-foot-long timber rattlesnake. She hugged him tightly. It was only now that Lily understood that somehow Kevin had become so important to her and she had fallen in love with him. "Don't worry, Lily. I'm okay. Now, Lily, if you keep crying, I'm going to start crying too." Who's crying?" Lily said as she stepped back and wiped the tears from her face. Are you all right?" "Amazing. You fought with a cougar and then killed a rattlesnake with your bare hands. Hi. My name is Dalton Steele. I could certainly use a friend like you." "My name's Kevin." A lot of them were jealous to see Dalton being so friendly to Kevin. But what Kevin didn't know was that Dalton was the only heir to the Steele family business. Even Drake and Dominic Archer respected the man. Soon everyone broke into groups and started chatting with each other, but they didn't dare go back into the woods. Dalton found a place to treat Kevin's wounds. After talking for just a short time, they seemed to feel an instant connection. "It's a great place to get in touch with nature. It would be a shame to develop it and put up mansions." "I agree." Dalton's wife, Miranda, interrupted them to say that she wanted to take a walk along the river. "Kevin, I'm going to take a stroll with my wife. Let's chat some more when I get back," Dalton said as he put his arm around his wife's shoulder and walked off. Officer Emmett and Phoebe followed Lily to Kevin's side. "Kevin, please tell us, how did you drive that ferocious cougar away?" "I was just lucky." Just as he was about to say something, he suddenly heard a cry of surprise. "Everyone, come and look! Something just happened!" As soon as he finished speaking, Kevin saw Dalton running towards them carrying Miranda in his arms. "Is there a doctor here?" Miranda was lifeless and kept spitting up saliva. She was having trouble breathing and her body was trembling. "Hello, Mr. Steele. My name is Ivan Daniels. I graduated from medical school." Just smiled and continued checking Miranda's vitals. "Mr. Steele, your wife's condition is very serious. I don't think she has more than an hour to live." "Dalton, don't worry. Tell me, did Miranda eat anything in the woods?" "Just now. While we were walking along the river, I found a pear on a tree, so I plucked it for her." It wasn't a pear, but it was a fruit that was very important in concocting herbal medications. Kevin remembered reading about it in his herbal guides. It was very similar to what some people call the apple of death because it's so poisonous. "Dalton, take a couple of people over to those plants down by the river. where the ground's a little marshy. Bring back a couple of those tall plants, the ones with the large leaves. Make sure you pull up the roots, too." Then Kevin turned to the doctor and asked him, "Do you have your medical bag in the tent? Please bring it right back." He picked up Miranda and put her on a blanket on the ground. Ivan came back with his medical supplies, and Kevin helped him to clean Miranda's skin around her mouth. Then the doctor got an antihistamine ready. When Dalton came back with the plants a moment later, Lily got very worried by all of this and said to Dalton, "I'm not sure that Kevin has the training for this. You really should call the hospital right away." "You're afraid that Kevin will kill my wife and I'll take it out on you. Don't worry. The doctor already said she couldn't make it to the hospital in time, so this is our only option right now." When he said this, they all heaved a sigh of relief. Lily had been married to Kevin for 3 years and still doubted him. "Maybe I really don't understand him." Kevin took the plants from Dalton's hands and stepped away as the doctor continued to treat Miranda. "I need to go over to the chef's station to make an herbal remedy that will help her recover more quickly." Officer Emmett stared at Kevin in shock. She'd already taken one of Kevin's herbal meds, and so had Blair, but she didn't realize that he could make them himself. He started to use the cooking utensils that the chefs had set up by the main tent. After he was done, Kevin turned his head and pointed at Jason, Ivan, Butler, and Blair and said, "Take off your clothes. I need to start a fire." "Why don't you burn your own clothes?" "All right, I'll just tell Dalton that you aren't interested in helping." "Okay, they're only clothes." He just picked up the clothes Jason and the others had thrown on the ground and asked for a lighter. Then he set them on fire. "Kevin, let's see how long you can keep pretending you know what you're doing. And now Phoebe and Lily will see your true colors. Then you can explain yourself to Dalton." Just then, the roots that Kevin was holding in the fire started to crackle. He pulled them from the flame and took them back over to the chef's table, where he made shavings and placed them in a bowl with some water. They could all smell the sweet fragrance, although the only one who was going to consume the concoction was Miranda. Kevin put some of the mixture in a glass and handed it to Dalton. "She should be able to sip some of this by now. It will help her to recover a lot more quickly than what the doctor just gave her." "Thank you, Kevin." Lily stared at Kevin in amazement, and seeing that this might just work, she finally relaxed a little. But it still bothered her that she didn't know Kevin or trust him yet. Everyone was watching anxiously, wondering when she would show some signs that the cure was working. Everyone was waiting to see if the herbal remedy Kevin had made would help to save Miranda's life. While they were waiting, the sky suddenly turned dark, and a cool breeze blew across the campsite, making the trees start to sway back and forth. "It looks like it's going to rain. I think we should move to higher ground so we can be safe from any flooding." "Sherwin, do you have any people to help move the campsite?" "Don't worry, Dalton. The tents are perfectly fine right here." "I can't believe they set up our tent so close to the river," Kevin said loudly. "Once it starts raining, the river will overflow its banks, and everything will be washed downstream, including us. You should really move Miranda to higher ground while she recuperates. I'll get Lily to do the same." Dalton agreed that it was getting too late in the year to have a summer thunderstorm, but Kevin had already been right twice today, so he gave him the benefit of the doubt. "All right, Kevin, stop messing around. Lily, you have to trust me. There isn't much time left." The rest of the group didn't believe Kevin knew anything about the weather and figured his luck had to run out soon. "Kevin, I believe you. I'll go up the hill with you." "What are you talking about, sis? It's way too dangerous in those woods." A few other members of her family agreed and tried to persuade her to stay where they were, but Phoebe didn't pay any attention to them. "Dalton, let's get going now. The rain will start very soon and we won't have much time to set up our tents." After about 10 minutes, Kevin found a good place to set up the new campsite. With Dalton's help and the simple tents that they'd brought along, the two of them were able to set it up very quickly. "Kevin, Dalton, come here. Miranda just woke up." When Dalton heard her, he immediately abandoned Kevin, who was cutting down some vines, and ran to Miranda. "Dalton, what happened to me?" "It was all my fault. That fruit I gave you was poisonous. Luckily, Kevin saved you." Suddenly, a bolt of lightning streaked across the sky, followed by rumbling thunder and a wild gust of wind. "Damn it, Kevin, you were right. Go ahead and take your wife into the smaller tent. I'll join Lily and Phoebe in the other one." Soon the 5 of them split into 2 groups and went into their respective tents. "Why don't the 2 of you chat a little? I need some rest." After that, the 3 of them lay down quietly and waited for the storm to pass. Suddenly, Kevin remembered something and leaned over. "Did you guys hear something? It sounds like someone is calling for help." Kevin quickly opened the tent zipper. The rain was certainly very heavy and Kevin could barely see where he was going. "Dalton, I think the rest of our group's in trouble." Dalton quickly came out of his tent. "You 3 should stay up here. Whatever you do, don't go down to the river." It took more than 10 minutes for Kevin and Dalton to find their way down to the main campsite. They were stunned by what they saw. The river had risen at least 6 feet. Not only did it wash away the tents, but there were also some trees that had fallen, the rest of the group trying desperately not to be washed away by the water. "Hey, can you hear me? I just threw you some vines. Pull yourselves up with all your strength." "Mr. Williams, pull me up first. Get me out of here. I promise I won't laugh at you anymore." "Stop arguing and help each other climb up here. Ladies first." It took Officer Emmett a long time to climb to safety. Just as she was about to lose her grip, Kevin reached out and grabbed her arm. He'd saved her life. With Dalton's help, Kevin quickly pulled everyone to safety, except for Blair. "Everyone, go up to the small clearing where we pitched our tents." Then Kevin turned to Dalton and said, "Would you please lead the way?" "Okay, no problem." Kevin took a moment to catch his breath, then he heard Blair yelling to him, "Kevin, what are you doing? Don't you see that I'm still down here? Hurry up and save me." "I'm sorry, Mr. Blair. After saving so many people, I don't have much strength left. Kevin, please save me. I don't want to die." "Maybe I'll save him, but you have to say the magic word. Please, please, I beg you." "I admit it. I arranged for someone to dress up in a cougar costume. Now please save me. How could you do such a thing? I wanted to look like a hero in front of Kelly, so I found someone to pretend to be a wild animal." Officer Emmett froze when she heard him say this. Kevin said as he threw the vine down to Blair. After he had climbed up the slope to safety, Blair saw Officer Emmett walking away. He didn't even say thank you to Kevin before chasing after her. When Kevin returned to the camp, Lily immediately jumped out of the tent. "Kevin, I'm so proud of you. It's still raining hard. Why don't you go into the tent and rest?" Kevin ignored all of the people huddling under the bushes and headed back down the hill. Miranda had been poisoned by the golden fruit. Kevin knew that this kind of fruit was very rare, especially this far north. When Kevin got down near the river, he looked around and finally found 2 trees that still had some undamaged fruit. It looked like there were about 20 that had survived. The next day, Blair's family managed to get where there was cell phone coverage to call for some limos to come pick them up early. Kevin and Lily rode back with Dalton and Miranda and a few other guests. "Kevin, tell me honestly, how do you make such good predictions?" "I only read a few books about these subjects when I was bored." Suddenly, the driver slammed on the brakes. "I'm very sorry about that, but there's a tree blocking the road." There were also a few people standing in the road, scratching their heads and trying to figure out what to do. Just then, the group of men in the road suddenly walked up to the stretch limo, and an anxious-looking man in his 30s asked them for help. "My uncle hurt his leg when the tree fell, and he needs to get to the hospital right away. Can you please help us?" "The traffic's really tied up because of the storm. It'll take way too long for an ambulance to get here." "Don't listen to them. We need to get out of here right now. Don't you have any conscience? Can't you see that someone's been injured? Quick, open the door and let them in." "Don't open it," Kevin shouted anxiously. Kevin sighed helplessly, but none of them listened to him. As it turns out, he realized as soon as he saw the line of fallen trees, someone had deliberately cut them down. Plus, when one of the men knocked on the window, Kevin clearly saw a prison tattoo on the man's arm, partially covered by a sleeve. But we don't have any empty seats, Jason pointed out to them. I'll gladly give up my seat for them. Lily, Dalton, Miranda, Phoebe, why don't you guys get out of the car with me? Let's go, Kevin. I'll go with you. I'll get out too, Lily finally said. As they were stepping out of the limo, Kevin turned around and said to Blair and the others, If you need any help later, don't come crawling to me. Go on, get out of here. We're trying to help some people and you're just running away. Who needs you? After Kevin and the others got out of the limo, Blair and Jason enthusiastically helped the men bring the injured man inside. You guys are lucky you ran into us, otherwise you'd be in trouble. Thank you. Thank you very much, the man replied with a cold smile. Then he pulled a very sharp knife out of his jacket and said menacingly, Nobody move. I know how to use this and I'd hate to have to hurt you. What the hell are you doing? Blair was dumbstruck. The others didn't know what was going on. What are we doing? Let me explain. This is a robbery, the man with the injured leg said as he pulled out a knife and held it to Blair's neck. What are you doing? We were trying to help you. I've already thanked you for that, but my friends and I need some money. As long as you follow our instructions and hand over all the money you have, I guarantee that you'll all be just fine. I'm Lieutenant Emmett of the Chicago Police Department. If you know what's good for you, you'll drop your knives and surrender. She was skilled enough to beat these guys all by herself, but the space was really small and pretty crowded. You're not getting anything from us. Unfortunately, the man wasn't in the mood to listen to Blair and gave him a powerful blow to the gut. Everyone began to wish they'd gotten out and taken a walk with Phoebe and the others. Listen, if all you want is money, that's okay. But we don't do a lot of cash business. We don't have much on us right now. Are you kidding me? I know you're all very wealthy. Otherwise, we wouldn't have deliberately waited here for you. So if you don't have any cash, we'll just take everything else. Put all your phones, jewelry, watches, and other valuables in the bag. The group of robbers were very happy. It looked like they could get at least $1 million from their rich victims. Then the leader of the gang smiled lewdly and reached out to touch Officer Emmett's face. It looked like he had other things in mind than just a robbery. Get lost, you You're a police officer, aren't you? Then you're responsible for the safety of everyone here. If you resist me again, this man dies. He reached out to touch Officer Emmett again, but as he extended his hand, someone seized it firmly. If you're going to rob us, then just do it and move on. Try anything else and you'll regret it. Kevin grunted and gave the man a quick, powerful sidekick in the gut, sending him flying 10 feet away. Hostages smiled as they saw a glimmer of hope. A couple even started to cheer Kevin on. But their hopes were dashed when they heard a gunshot suddenly ring out. The head of the gang had shot out one of the windows of the limo. I didn't know you were carrying any guns with you. Why don't you try to shoot me instead of an innocent car? Kevin! Officer Emmett shouted anxiously when she heard him say this. Of course she saw through Kevin's strategy. It was the same thing he'd done during the bank robbery. He was trying to draw the man away so he wouldn't hurt the others. Go to hell, the man shouted as he pulled the trigger. As the gunshot rang out, blood burst from Kevin's shoulder. Fortunately, it wasn't in a vital organ. Damn it! Dalton shouted when he saw this. He ran over to the man and kicked the gun out of his hand. Then he knocked him out cold. That's when Kevin fell to the ground. When he woke up, he found himself in a hospital. Kevin, you finally woke up. Promise me one thing. In the future, if we ever get in the same situation again, don't be so brave, okay? The doctor said the bullet struck close to your heart. I'm sorry I scared you. Then he looked around the room and asked her, Lily, where are we? I didn't know hospitals around here were so luxurious. This is a private hospital opened by the Steele family. Speaking of which, you really have to thank Dalton Steele. If he hadn't invited the best doctor, your surgery wouldn't have gone so smoothly. Where's Dalton now? Kevin asked. It's his grandfather's birthday in 2 days, Lily explained. Dalton is busy taking care of the guests in his home. Do you know where Dalton's home is? While this was going on, Mitchell Cook, Adriana Wright, and the other three were sitting together in a private room in the Whistler Hotel. They were discussing their plans for an ecological garden. They were interrupted by the crash of the room's door being kicked open.
"Who the hell are you? How dare you behave so shamefully in my hotel?"
"My name is Thomas Williams," he said proudly. "If Kevin were here, he'd have to answer to me. That gives you an idea of my importance. So what if you're from the Williams family? This is Chicago, not New York. You're a long way from home. Take them all away. Let's see how long Kevin survives without his buddies." They had no idea what Thomas had in mind. Kevin's uncle Thomas burst into the meeting at the Whistler Hotel and ordered his men to take Cook, Adriana, and the others hostage. "You've been siding with Kevin against the entire Williams family. Now Grandpa has given me the order for me to take you all back to New York as our guests," Drake asked when he saw Cook and the others being held against their will. Just when Drake was about to lose his temper and stop Thomas, he felt someone touch his shoulder. The man quickly struck Drake in the chest with the palm of his hand, sending him flying, crashing into several tables. Drake shouted at his bodyguards, "Kill him!" Before the men could respond to Drake's order, the man leapt into the middle of them. In a few quick moves, he knocked them all to the floor. Thomas suddenly stopped in the doorway. "Go and tell Kevin that if he cares about these people's lives, he should go back to New York City. Alone. I'll wait for him in the main hall of the Williams mansion." While all this was going on, Dalton Steele was just arriving at the hospital. When he saw Kevin sitting up in his bed, he smiled broadly.
"Hey, Kevin, my grandfather, Norman Steele, asked me to invite you to come over to our house."
Lily looked at Dalton in shock. "For your grandfather's birthday? Of course I'll go.
By the way, I have something very important to tell you. On the 23rd of this month, there will be an important competition, an entrance exam. If you pass it, you can enter the Advanced Herbal Medicine program at the Chicago School for the Natural Healing Arts."
"Okay, Dalton, let's talk about this later."
"Kevin, why don't you just get out of that bed? Come on over to my house."
"Are you really okay?" "I'm fine, Lily. I mean, I was only shot twice." Kevin smiled and slowly got out of bed with some help from Dalton. The three of them left the hospital together, and Dalton drove straight to the Steele family's mansion. Norman Steele was sitting at the head of the table, chatting happily with the guests. Among the many guests, Kevin spotted Tucker, whom he had recently seen at his class reunion.
"Kevin, this is my grandfather, Norman Steele. Grandpa, this is my friend Kevin."
"It's nice to meet one of my grandson's friends. Have a seat and enjoy yourself." "Thank you, sir." After that, he took Lily over to introduce her to Tucker. "I didn't expect to see the Jones family's infamous lazy son-in-law."
"Are you two friends?"
"Who would be friends with like him?" Actually, Tucker was mainly there for two reasons. The first was to help his sister give Norman Steele a gift so that she could make a connection with the family and get a job in one of their companies. Second, he wanted to make friends with Dalton. "Haven't you come here with your wife to give Mr. Steele a gift?" "I'm here to offer my sister's gift on her behalf." "Your sister? So then the gift really isn't from you. So what's it to you? You don't even deserve to know her name." Grandpa Steele had been watching all of this from his comfortable chair. He could see a little bit of his younger self in Kevin's appearance. So Grandpa Steele wanted to see what Kevin would do to turn the situation around. "Who exactly is this sister of yours? I'll just show you her gift and you'll know what kind of person she is. This is an authentic bust of the Greek god Apollo from over 300 years ago. It's to remind everyone of your eternal reputation, Mr. Steele." The guests were very impressed by this gift, which must have been worth $100,000. Even Dalton walked over to take a closer look. He definitely appreciated the craftsmanship. As Kevin watched, his smile grew wider and wider. "Did you bring anything that's worth this much? How much did you spend on this thing?" $110,000. If this were a real 18th century bust of Apollo, that would be a fair price. Unfortunately, the box is probably worth about as much as your gift. Are you saying that this is a fake? The original bust is actually in Italy. That's the first reason I know it's not authentic. But also, it's probably a plaster cast that was coated in urethane and painted to look like marble. It's certainly not a gift worthy of a distinguished person like Mr. Steele. "You're talking nonsense." He had actually bought it from one of his uncles. Tucker just couldn't believe that his uncle would lie to him. Kevin picked up the bust and dropped it lightly on the table. As everyone watched, the so-called marble bust broke apart into a dusty pile of plaster. The crowd gasped when they saw this. Even if what you said is true, my intention was to help celebrate Mr. Steele's birthday. But what about you? Did you come here empty-handed? Hey, who told you I didn't bring any gifts? Just then, there was a lot of commotion at the mansion's entrance, and someone announced, "Director Lexi Belmont of Williams Media has arrived." Everyone watched Lexi walk into the room. She was carrying a large, bright red gift bag in her hand. "I'm sorry I'm late, Mr. Williams. I've brought the gifts that you asked me to prepare. I appreciate your help, and I'm glad that you got here so quickly." Tucker also stared in disbelief. "So, Tucker's your brother?" Yes, he is. Your brother sure knows how to bully someone." "I'm so sorry, Mr. Williams." "Sis, why are you apologizing? He's just that useless son-in-law." Before he could say another word, she slapped him in the face. "How dare you insult Mr. Williams? I want you to apologize to him immediately." Tucker hesitated. "I'm sorry, Mr. Williams, that was wrong of me." Suddenly, Kevin's phone rang. He looked at the unfamiliar caller ID. "Hello? May I ask who's calling?" "Mitchell Cook. President Wright, Emo, and Gilbert were all taken hostage by the Williams family. I was also injured. They're taking them to the Williams mansion in New York. Take care of yourself and leave the rest to me." Kevin hung up the phone. "Dalton, do me a favor. Call some of your men and come with me." Randall Williams was sitting in an armchair holding his hand-carved walking stick. Cook, Adriana, Gilbert, and Emo were tied up and sitting on a bench along with Kevin's parents, Alan and Susan. "Big brother, do you have any idea how arrogant your son is? Father only wanted to teach him a lesson, but he fought back, causing the family to suffer heavy losses. And he will pay for what he's done." Kevin rushed out of Norman Steele's birthday party as soon as he got the call from Drake. The scene at the Williams mansion was starting to get violent. Alan's nose and mouth were bleeding, and Susan wasn't spared from this either. Just then, the mansion's front door suddenly burst open. Kevin's eyes turned blood red when he saw what they were doing to his parents and friends. "Kevin, how dare you come back here?" Ethan punched Kevin's father in the stomach. "Stop it now!" Kevin's hand reached out to grab Ethan by the throat. Kevin grabbed his right hand. "Kevin, you've broken my hand!" "Mom, Dad, are you okay?" Kevin asked as he untied their hands and hugged them tightly. Susan fainted immediately, and Alan looked at his son. "Kevin, did you do anything to hurt the family?" "No, Dad. Whatever I did, they're the ones who forced me to do it." Alan faintly passed out. Kevin couldn't tell if his father was alive or dead. "Dad! Mom!" He shook his parents, but neither of them woke up. "What are you shouting about? Your parents deserve to die." Kevin gently lowered his parents to the floor and walked towards Laura. "This is the Williams family. If you aren't with us, you're against us. Nothing, huh?" Kevin suddenly moved toward her and took her by the arm. "Kevin, how dare you hurt my wife?" Kevin slapped his uncle right in the face, and it spun Thomas around as he fell to the ground. Then Kevin grabbed his uncle by the throat. 3 years ago, when I bought the shares of Orion Group, all the money I spent was earned through my own hard work. Then you took Laura's advice and kicked me and my parents out of the family without any investigation at all. Did you tell Grandpa about any of that? Under Ethan and Laura's, Williams Media was left an empty shell. If you hadn't given it to me in exchange for my financial help, I'm sure it would have gone bankrupt. Then you took the Williams family's money and joined forces with outside families to attack Williams Media and drive down its stock so that I wouldn't be able to recover from the losses. Even though I said I was going to take back the billions that I lent the family, did I actually come back and demand it? No, other than insulting me. What else have you done?" Kevin slapped Thomas hard in the face. "Another thing. How dare you?" Grandpa Williams snapped. "You said that I offended the family. But when did I do anything like that on purpose?" Grandpa Williams couldn't say anything in response. "Listen up, everyone. Punish him the way we always deal with traitors to the family." A group of men started walking towards Kevin with hideous expressions on their faces. Dalton rushed headlong through the demolished front door. He was leading more than a dozen imposing-looking men. "Who the hell are you? How dare you enter our home?" "Kevin is like a brother to me. My name is Dalton Steele." "Dalton, get my parents and the others to the hospital." Grandpa Williams stepped out in front of everyone holding his walking stick. "First, you need to go through me." Grandpa Williams raised his walking stick and swung it at Dalton's head. But it was caught before it reached its target. "Grandpa, I can't let you make a mistake like this." Kevin didn't want to fight him, but it looked like he had to. Grandpa Williams said as he held his lion-headed walking stick and banged it on the ground forcefully. "Grandpa, remember you're starting this, not me. Everyone retreat." Kevin could tell that his grandfather still had a lot of skills. He had spent his entire youth training in the martial arts. "Dalton, get my parents out of here." The two of them collided explosively. Soon, the Williams family and Steele's people started fighting with each other. At the same time, Grandpa Williams lifted his walking stick and brought it down in a powerful overhead strike. It just missed Kevin's body. Kevin caught the lion's head carving on the end of the walking stick, but not before Grandpa Williams had struck several of his own family members, knocking them to the ground one after another. The Williams family's best fighters had been beaten up badly by Dalton and his bodyguards. "I swear to you, if my father doesn't survive, if anything happens to him, I will bury the entire Williams family with him. I admit that I'm not a match for you, grandfather, but can you guarantee that you'll be able to protect the Williams family forever? Will these people ever be able to step outside of their homes?" "You, how dare you talk to me like this?" He was so furious that his chest was heaving. Kevin turned around and left. "Father, are you all right? How dare he attack you, father?" "Grandfather, 15 of us need to go to the hospital immediately. Then get them to the hospital." While this was going on, Kevin had already arrived at Philip Quinn's private hospital. Under Dr. Willow's skilled care, Alan and the others quickly received the medical attention they needed. Kevin arranged for them to be transferred to a hospital in Chicago once their injuries had been treated. A few hours later, Lily and her mother walked into the hospital where Kevin's parents had been transferred, downtown General. The two of them arrived in Alan and Susan's wing of the hospital, but they were stopped by two men. "I'm sorry, but no one is allowed to enter this area."
Hi, Kevin here. If you are wondering what happens next, then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Insta Empire now with the link in the description.